Good morning. I'm David Talbot, Managing Director and Head of Research here at Red Cloud Securities. We are very pleased to speak to G6 Materials Corporation today. We have Daniel Stolyarov, President and CEO, speaking to us. G6 Materials sells graphene-based products and other materials, including conductive epoxies, fine chemicals, high-performance composites, inks, and R&D materials. So, Daniel, you will have 10 minutes, and then after that, we'll have a five-minute Q&A session at the end. So, attendees, please feel free to ask questions using that Q&A link. Take it away, Daniel.
Well, thank you very much for such a warm introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. And the mission of our company is commercialization of graphene products. And what is graphene? Graphene is a novel material which was recently discovered and belongs to the class of two-dimensional materials. And it has many outstanding properties. It's known as being the strongest materials on Earth and having the highest thermal conductivity. And from scientific perspective, it's just a hexagonal lattice built out of carbon atoms. In real life, graphene exists in two forms. Either a form of conductive transparent film, if being put on the silicon wafer, can be used for making fast electronics, or if being put on the piece of flexible transparent plastic, it can be used as a flexible transparent conductor. The other form of graphene is so-called graphene nanoplatelets. It's a fluffy black powder built out of small pieces of graphene. And this powder is used for making novel batteries. And also graphene nanopowder is a very efficient nanofiller, being added as a fraction of percent by weight to other material that drastically improve their properties. Graphene is far from being a commodity. There is no graphene market per se. There is no industry that would consume graphene in substantial volumes, and that makes it commercialization a bit challenging, because it's not sufficient just to make a good quality material. And what do? We're communicating closely with our customers first to identify a killer application, and graphene can really make difference. And we make a prototype and actually proves with numbers and test results that graphene works, and it works better than what's available as of moment. And another important point is that for graphene solution, the way we formulate it, it should be least disruptive for already existing manufacturing processes. And we develop IP along the way. And I would say using graphene is more valuable IP than the IP covering the production process of graphene. And finally, there's a couple of exit strategies. We can either license out this IP to our customers, or alternatively, we can come up with a solution and provide them with some sort of additive so they can use in the manufacturing. Who we are and what makes us different from the other company in the graphene space. First, since the inception of the company in 2009, we accumulated a lot of knowledge about graphene. We know this industry very well, all ins and outs. We know challenges of this industry and the potential benefit graphene can bring. We have two well-equipped scientific lab and the pilot scale production facility in Ronkonkoma. And what's important that we are operating company. We are making money by selling graphene products, and we are communicating with our customers. And over the years, we actually accumulated a customer database, now counting more than 20,000 customers, among them almost every university in the world, also research departments of a big commercial company. I would say it would be true to say if all these company from Fortune 500 list that's making actual physical products at some point in time were our customers. And the takeaway message was communicating with this, our customers, especially big companies, that we can actually make graphene product, and it's better than what's available now. But transition to the second stage is hindered because there's also companies that are not sure that we can expand rapidly enough to cover the needs if they decide to go with development of graphene products. So recent highlights, what's been exciting over the last year. First, being inspired by this pandemic, we introduced a new product lines related to air purification, and we managed to double our revenue as compared to the last year. One of the important development with this air purification project is that we received the test results from independent laboratory showing that our filter based on our technology exhibit 99.9% elimination efficiency against microbes and viruses. And US Patent Office finally granted us 2 more patents and bringing total to 5 US patent granted. And finally, we finalized acquisition of GX Technology, and we raised $5 million in conjunction to this transaction. The acquisition of GX Technology is a very important milestone in the development of our company. Not only we got the capital we need for expansion, we also make our management team much stronger by adding people with real business experience and access to capital markets. Mr. Tasso Rima joined our board of directors, and Tom Fieldman take a role of independent observer. Now we have a clear way of expansion our manufacturing capabilities. At the moment, we have a research lab where we can produce graphene in small quantities, which is sufficient to make a prototype of graphene products and test it. And second step in this process would be establishing a pilot plant facility, which is going to be done in our facility in the Ronkonkoma. It's going to take from 6 months to 1 year. And the goal of this pilot plant establishment is to test all this manufacturing process and make sure that they're scalable and they can be used on industrial scale, and also produce sufficient material to cover our needs for research project and commercialization. Then the third step would be establish an industrial scale plant for making graphene oxide. And this is going to happen in the Natchez, Mississippi. And one of the items we received with the acquisition of GX Technology is the option to lease a site. It's an industrial development place in Natchez, Mississippi. It's well positioned next to railroad. It goes to local port and has wastewater treatment plants and power plant nearby to cover all the potential needs for large-scale plant. Also, in the close vicinity, there is a lab of US Army Corps of Engineers. We're taking over research projects being started by GX Technology, reformulated goals. Now that it will be devoted to environmental mitigation. And last but not least, we have 2 projects which we are taking over, and still needed research and development, but if we done with the applications, it's going to be huge upside. And we continue to work in our product with air purification, which I already mentioned. We also have seen some traction with conductive adhesives, and 2 big manufacturers in Europe are interested to use our formulation in their products. Advanced composite, as you probably mentioned before, we developed a couple of formulations for marine composites, and the only obstacle on commercialization was our lack of production capacity. And finally, if we drop the price on the graphene products, then it will open up a lot of commercial opportunities. So the way we see this air purification project going, first, we're already about to introduce our small office scale air purifier just to showcase our technology. Second, we can produce using our technology replacement filter for other brands, but we can use the same technology to improve HVAC system on industrial scale, like in a large building. And I received a couple of calls from airlines. They want to use this technology in the planes for filtering air. As I mentioned, we make very good formulation for conductive adhesives, and we replace some of the silver in the conductive adhesive with graphene, and it makes the product much better and used for flexible electronics. And that's what sparks the interest from our partners in Europe. We already signed a supplier agreement with one of them and about to do the same with the second one. And this is what's going to be happening in the nearest future. First, we're planning to continue and resign the research agreement with US Crime Corps of Engineers. We're planning to launch air purification device. We'll start offering as soon as we get all the necessary government approvals. Already, as I mentioned, signed the contract with conductive adhesives. We are planning to do ISO certification, which is a prerequisite for signing the contract with a European manufacturer. And we're already halfway through in the commencement of pilot scale reaction for graphene oxide production. Thank you so much for your attention. I was ready to take your questions.
Okay, great. Thank you for a good presentation there, Daniel. So we do have some questions here. Now, is your business model based on scaling up sale of products that use graphene materials for mass distribution, or would you consider yourself an R&D company that helps customers achieve their goals?
I would say that both ways are acceptable. First, if let's say we're working with our partners and they want to take care of all the manufacturing because they don't want to, they want to have everything under control, I would be open to license out our technology. On the other hand, the other potential exit strategies to, if we produce the necessary part for the graphene product. Let's say that when we're doing this formulation for the marine composites, we formulate it in a small additive. The beauty of graphene is it's a small fraction of percent needed to improve the properties, and we can process such amount even in our place now, and will be actually beneficial for expansion.
Okay. Now, there are several emerging industries with multi-billion-dollar outlooks that you plan to penetrate. But for now, can you maybe discuss the outlook of the air purification industry? Because you're getting some of your revenue from that already.
Yes, of course. This pandemic sparked the interest to the air purification products, which was not there before. But I'm sure it's going to stay. People are now adhere to healthy lifestyle. They watch closely on the quality of food and the quality of water, but the quality of air is kind of miss the attention. Although, if you think about that, average person consume about 10 kilos of air per day. It's much more than water, and the air quality is important. And all this air purification business received a push from this pandemic because air purification was one of the mitigation measures against the virus. And we just use graphene oxide to make it better products with improved antimicrobial properties. And because we see this tectonic shifts in the industry, we want to benefit on that.
Okay. And do you ever anticipate entering the lithium-ion battery materials sector at all, essentially delivering anode material?
Yes, of course. As I mentioned, one of the projects we are having is the purification of lithium, removal of some of the contaminants from a lithium solution. And this is when graphene acts like a very efficient absorber. And this is one of the applications we are considering. And there's other application we're also thinking of entering this space by making the cases for lithium-ion batteries using graphene materials.
Great, great. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Daniel. Very helpful presentation. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.